Hi everyone, a very good morning to all of you watching this video. I am Manat Sharma from Oliveboard and I'm here with the live mint analysis that we do every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Okay, so we take up some important articles from the newspaper, we discuss them in detail, we try to link it with the static portion, we try and understand the meaning of the news to have a more comprehensive view of what's happening, right? At the end, we also do a few MCQs for our practice, and I will also give you a descriptive question which is relevant from your current point of view if there's any question that can be asked from the news that we've done. Okay. Now, before I begin, please let me know in the comment section whether my audio and video is clear so that we can have the class in a smooth and continuous manner. Good morning, Abhinav, Srinidhi, Kevlin, Bhakti, Sudarshan. I'm good. Bhakti, how are you? Seeing you after a long time here. Also, if you want to download this YouTube class PDF, you can do it from the Oliveboard app. Just go to the courses section. There's going to be a separate PDFs folder. You can download it from here. Right now, what are we going to cover today? Let's take a look. Okay, Aditya. Good morning to you also. Okay, chalo. So let's take a look. What are we going to cover here? Railways revenue efficiency seen at 5-year best. So we are going to talk about revenue efficiency model of the railways. We're going to understand what is the operating ratio. Okay? There's a term over here, operating ratio mentioned. So we're going to understand what is the meaning of operating ratio over here and how are we assessing railways revenue efficiency. Okay? Second news is related to specialty steel PLI scheme. Here we are going to understand what is the meaning of PLI scheme, production linked incentive scheme, and we're also going to understand that what is the meaning of specialty steel. Okay? Then has Kerala really cut out extreme poverty fully? So Kerala has claimed that it has completely eradicated extreme poverty from its state. And if this claim is verified, then Kerala is going to be the first state to eliminate extreme poverty, and that is going to be a model at the international level also. Fine. Okay? Then Sitaraman calls for India centric economic policy. See, most of the economic theories that we see all are Western oriented. है ना? The base of economic theories is Western oriented, and that is why Nirmala Sitaraman is saying that we need to bring in our own economic policies, our own economic theories based on India, based on the conditions of India, based on the status of India. ठीक है? Then why India didn't grow as fast as other Asian economies? There's a small analysis related to it. We are going to, uh, uh, read about it. Then there are a few fact-based news. At last, we will do MCQ practice. ठीक है? अच्छा, okay, Bhakti. Anyway, let's take it live only, है ना? चलो, let's talk about the first news over here. Railways revenue efficiency seen at 5-year best in financial year 27. So we are predicting for financial year 27 that railways revenue efficiency. Whenever we talk about the word efficiency, what does it mean is that the allocation of resources, these are, properly done. There is no wastage, our earning is good. When we talk about revenue efficiency, our earning is good as compared to our cost. What happens that in every kind of business, any kind of activity, there is a cost associated, है ना? The basic cost, the cost that we put in the money. For example, we have to hire labor, for example, we have to use fuel, for example, we have to provide salaries. That is our cost. And revenue is earning. ठीक है? Revenue is our earning, what we earn by that. For example, if railways hai, so railways, freight railways, railways carry goods from one place to another, है ना? उसके लिए they charge. Then the passengers and all who go through this, so वहाँ से we we get revenue. Now, when we talk about revenue efficiency, we are trying to say that our cost is less and our revenue is more. This gap is more. That means we are able to earn better. I hope you're able to understand what I'm trying to say over here, right? So, Indian Railways is expected to project an operating ratio below 98%. in financial year 26-27, marking its best performance in 5 years. That is what we're talking about over here. Now, what does it mean that if it is less than 98%, then what does it mean? If it is more than 98%, then what does it mean? This we are going to understand in today's session. Okay? Now, why has this improved? We are saying that operating ratio has improved. Firstly, we need to understand what is operating ratio. What does it mean if I say it is below 98%? Okay, and what are the reasons for improvement in this? So, improvement is driven by high freight earnings. Freight का क्या मतलब है? When you are transporting goods from one place to another, not passengers. So, freight earnings are good and increased central government funds. Central government is also providing you good amount of funds. Now, let's understand what operating ratio is. So, operating ratio or operational ratio, it shows how much the Indian Railways spend to earn 100 rupees. If I want to earn rupees 100, how much is my cost to earn rupees 100? वही बात हो गई कि cost and earnings के बीच में what is the gap. ठीक है? If I'm talking about a lower ratio, lower this ratio, better is going to be the performance. How? कैसे है ये operating ratio? How do we calculate it? We divide working expenses upon gross earnings into 100. Working expenses मतलब कितना I am giving for fuel, how much I am paying for fuel, how much I am giving for salaries and all, how much I am paying for maintenance and all. ठीक है? And gross earnings are my total earnings. How much I am getting by charging some amount of money. Into 100 we get the ratio. ठीक है? For example, if railways earn 100 rupees and spend 98, for example, railways are paying 98 rupees for salaries, expenses and all, and how much are the railways earning? 100. So what is the operating ratio? 98%. That means you have how much surplus? 100 minus 98, how much surplus you have? Only 2. Only 2 is your profit. है ना? If this 98 is 96, lesser this 96, lesser this ratio 96 upon 100 into 100 is 96. That means the gap is 4 rupees. That means I am earning higher. Similarly, if it is 95, it is 94. जैसे जैसे this is reducing, वैसे वैसे lower the ratio, better is going to be the performance, better is going to be the efficiency. ठीक है? हाँ, just like P by E ratio, just like that. Yes, Aditya. ठीक है, दैट इज व्हाट इज नोन एज ऑपरेटिंग रेशियो, कि आप कितना स्पेंड कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, एंड आउट ऑफ द टोटल अर्निंग दैट यू आर डूइंग. तो जो वो गैप है, जितना ज्यादा वो गैप होएगा उतने बेटर परफॉर्मेंस होएगी, और वो गैप कितना ज्यादा होगा जितना कम वर्किंग एक्सपेंसेस होंगे. ठीक है, आई होप यू आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस थिंग. ठीक है, सो इफ द वैल्यू इज बिलो 90%, it is very very good. That means you are spending less and saving more. That means that gap is more, you are able to save more, your profit is more. That means your efficiency is high. If it is 90 to 100, then okay but not much profit. Okay, it is okay but not much profit. That means efficiency is moderate. If it is more than 100, that means you are spending more, earning less. That means this is bad, the efficiency is poor. ठीक है, so now पहले what used to happen was 99.9, 99.8, this used to be the efficiency of the railways. Now it is around 98% and it is reducing, है ना? We are seeing over here, we saw this news that operating ratio is below 98%, so it is reducing. Operating ratio is reducing and that is benefiting us. So revenue efficiency is improving of the railways. That is what this news is about. ठीक है? So operating ratio is often around 96 to 98% in the Indian Railways. ठीक है, that means you are spending 96 to 98 rupees to earn 100 rupees. ठीक है, so operating ratio tells how efficiently the railway manages its income and expenses. We also manage our expenses. We also manage, for example, I earn 50,000 rupees, है ना? I earn 50,000 rupees, but my expenses are 45,000 rupees. So I am only saving 5,000. So, but if my salary is 50k and I am using only 30k, then 20k I am saving. बस वही वाला हिसाब. I hope you're able to understand. If I talk about the past ratio, you can see in 2021, What was the operating ratio? 97.45. In 21-22, what was the operating ratio? 107.39. Why did it increase? Because this was the COVID period. ठीक है? The entities were getting losses and all. Then 98.14 in 22-23, 98.43% in 22-23-24, then 98.32 in 24-25, 28.43 in 25-26, and the target for financial year 27 is below 98%. That means we are going to see an improvement over here. Okay, what are the key drivers of improvement? That means what are the reasons why is this operating ratio improving? That is the question. You should know the reasons behind this. You can get a descriptive question related to this. You might get a descriptive question related to this. And or you might get in the MCQs, you might get a question related to operating efficiency. You never know. है ना? So you should know the key drivers of improvement. Firstly, freight income. Freight is goods related income growth. So high cargo movement expected to boost the revenues. Okay, more and more people are sending their goods and all through the railways. Then government budgetary support and fund allocation to supplement internal resources. That means government is also providing good amount of budgetary support and fund allocation. Reduced pension burden over time, helping operational savings. So pension burden is also reducing. Capital expenditure rationalization. The focus is on more efficiency based spending rather than revenue masking. So these are the major reasons. Okay, fine. Now fine. What are the financial implications? Uh, Revenue generation will be more. This is what it means. Revenue generations are going to be more. And estimated 3.25 to 330 trillion compared to 3 trillion in financial year 26. If you are saving more, if your surplus is more, if your profit is more, that means your revenue generation will be more. है ना? What is anticipated that there is going to be more than 10% growth in revenues from both freight as well as passenger services. That Indian Railways expect over 5,000 crore from internal sources for financial year 26-27. ठीक है? What are the operational and planning measures? Plans are to channel borrowings more transparently to ensure efficient fund utilization. The railways, they are focusing on long term projects like Vande Bharat trains, dedicated freight corridors, high efficiency projects. I am giving you homework over here. Just like we have industrial corridors, है ना? Just like we have industrial corridors, we have freight corridors also. So you are going to read about what is the meaning of freight corridors and some major freight corridors in India. This is your homework. You are going to read about this. Okay? Okay. Fine. So this, experts are saying that this is going to improve financial discipline, cost transparency, avoid revenue masking for capital expenses, ensure funds are used efficiently. Okay. And the railways, they aim for sustainable revenue improvement, cost optimization. They want to double the network capacity. They want to manufacture more locomotives, wagons, coaches, increasing rail share in freight transport. This is the future outlook. ठीक है, so this was your first news. What I wanted to make you understand is the meaning of operating ratio. This is a very important concept. Directly as an MCQ, this can be asked in your examination. ठीक है? Okay. Next news is round 3 of specialty steel PLI scheme has been launched. I want you to tell me in the comment section what is the meaning of this PLI scheme, production linked incentive scheme. What is this production linked incentive scheme? Who is going to tell me? Who is going to tell me? Hanji, what is this PLI scheme? And another word here is specialty steel. What is specialty steel? Ma'am, what is revenue masking? Acha. Uh, Avoiding, okay, revenue masking for capital expenses means that revenue, that the revenue that we are having, the revenue that we attain, it should be avoided for capital expenses. Okay, so basically our revenue should be good enough that it should cover our expenses also, and some should be left also. It's not like use entire revenue just for our expenses. So avoiding revenue masking for capital expenses, in the sense using all our revenue for expenses only. I hope this is clear, Srinidhi. Okay, ठीक है. हाँ जी. So what is the PLI scheme? It means to boost domestic manufacturing, increase exports, and reduce imports. Financial incentives given based on how much companies manufacture and sell. ठीक है. See, what used to happen before was that the government used to provide subsidies. The government used to provide subsidies to the manufacturers. कि पहले before manufacturing or before sales only, government used to provide subsidies. But outcome that we used to get after providing subsidies was not good enough. है ना. एक तो पहले you are giving the subsidies, कि पहले you are giving money to them, but they were getting lethargic, or they were not producing the good efficiently. So government switched to production linked incentive schemes. From this word only you can understand production linked. That means first you produce, then based on your sales we are going to give you incentives. ठीक है. That first you produce a good, if your sales increase as compared to the previous year, if your sales increase as compared to the previous year, then you will get incentives, not before. So this is encouraging the producers to produce more, to increase their sales, and if they increase their sales they will get incentives from the government. So we switch to this PLI scheme. So PLI scheme is basically for the manufacturing sector and for different things. For here PLI scheme we are talking about specialty steel over here. PLI scheme here we are talking for specialty steel. What is specialty steel? PLI scheme provides financial incentive to companies based on their increased manufacturing output. Yes, Abhinav. Promoting Make in India, yes, in few sectors. Sudarshan Rahul says to boost domestic production, government offers the producer some incentives like subsidies, rebates to produce more. Exactly. ठीक है. Then specialty steel means high quality steel जिसमें different elements include रहते हैं, right? Like chromium. Exactly. Pharma, solar, PV. Specialty steel means strong alloy steel with special properties for high end uses. Exactly. Very good. So what is the news over here? That Union Minister of Steel and Heavy Industries, HD Kumar Swamy, he has launched the third round of PLI scheme for specialty steel. What is the aim? To boost manufacturing, employment, and make in India. We want to make India a global hub for high-end steel production. So we want to focus on self-reliance, and that is why we have this news over here. We want to become Atmanirbhar Bharat, right? Now there is this PLI scheme for specialty scheme. When was this approved? In 2021. Why was it just now we are talking about the the round 3 of specialty steel. Initially it was launched in 2021 to promote value addition in the steel sector, to reduce dependence on imports, because for steel we are really dependent on the foreign countries. So we want to reduce that dependence on imports of high grade steel products. Specialty steel is high grade steel product. ठीक है. PLI incentive is expected to boost the domestic production of specialty steel by attracting significant investment. ठीक है. We want to attract more and more investment. We want to infuse technology and know-how. We want to promote exports. ठीक है. So specialty steel means high quality steel. It is made for special uses, not for ordinary things like rods or sheets, but for specific industries where strength, durability, or special properties are needed. ठीक है. So it is high quality steel. It has special uses. It is not normal steel, it is custom made steel. What is it? It is custom made steel. It can resist heat, rust, pressure, and wear and tear, etc. ठीक है. So you can take this, the examples of specialty steel. We have stainless steel, it does not rust. So we have it in kitchenware, medical tools. We have alloy steel, which is mixed with metals like chromium, nickel, and it is used in automobiles, machinery. We have tool steel, which is very hard, used to cut other metals. Drills, cutting tools में है. Electrical steel, which helps in saving electricity, motors and transformers. We have high strength steel, which is strong but lightweight. Aircrafts, defense equipment is sub में these are used. So this is what is known as specialty steel. So I wanted to explain you the meaning of specialty steel. That is what is important from here. ठीक है. So a scheme has already attracted investments worth 43,874 crore. Okay, it is going to create 30,760 direct jobs. That means it is going to improve the employment scenario. Okay, production of 14.3 million tons of specialty steel will increase. So this will help in reducing our import dependence. It will help in reducing our import dependence. Firms have invested 22,973 crore as of now. Okay, what are the objectives of round 3 of this PLI scheme? We want to attract new investments in emerging and advanced steel products like super alloys, cold rolled grain oriented steel, stainless steel, titanium alloys, coated steel. These are the things wherein we want more and more investment so that we can manufacture more and more specialty steel, and so that we can depend less on the foreign countries. Aim is we want to generate significant employment, expand high-end steel capacity, strengthen India's position as a preferred global supplier of specialty steel. Okay? And what is the eligibility criteria? This is important. Say you can get an MCQ based question, you can get statement based questions. Okay? In the statement they can write down है ना, that which of the following are correct about specialty steel. So they can give you one statement about the definition of specialty steel. Second, they can talk about the PLI scheme of specialty scheme. Then third statement, they can talk about the eligibility criteria that only Indian registered companies engaged in end-to-end manufacturing of notified products can apply. But they can twist this statement by saying that both Indian registered and foreign registered companies can apply. है ना? Like that. ठीक है, application window is 30 days for submission under round 3. ठीक है, what is the application window? 30 days. Right, it covers 22 product subcategories under 5 broad segments. Again, in the statement only they can write this. It covers 22 broad product subcategories under 5 broad segments. Which are the broad segments? Strategic steel grades, CRGO steel, stainless steel, alloy steel, coated or value added steel products. Don't get into the details that what is the meaning of each of these. Just remember these 5 broad segments. Okay, what are the incentives offered? 4 to 15% on incremental sales. So what is this PLI scheme? That if your sales increase as compared to the previous year, that means you have incremental sales, then incentives will be provided. So how much incentives will be offered? 4 to 15%. Product subcategory, year of production. And incentive period is 5 years, and disbursal of incentives are going to begin from financial year 26-27. This scheme will help in reducing the imports of high grade steel, will enhance domestic capacity in technologically advanced steel segments. It is going to promote self reliance and export competitiveness. It is going to align India's steel industries with global standards and sustainability goals. There can be a descriptive question also formed from here. So I will form a question and I am going to post it on the Telegram group. You guys can write down and share the answer with me. I'll share my Telegram handle over here if there's anybody new here. Mannat Educator is my Telegram handle. Just type Mannat Educator, you will have access to the Telegram group. Yeah. See, Aditya, this 43,000 crore that you are seeing, they have already attracted investment. That means till now for this specialty steel, till now for the specialty steel in round 3, round 3 so we are going to begin, but till we have started round 3, abhi round 3 has not yet begun, hai na? So far how much investment we have received for specialty steel? There are 3 rounds. In initially how much investment we have received? 43,000 crore. And now we are going to attract more investments. We are wanting to attract more investments. Okay, okay, Aditya. Next, has Kerala really cut out extreme poverty fully? So now Kerala has claimed that it has cut out extreme poverty. That means it has become the state which has removed extreme poverty completely. Okay, so Kerala government declared that it has completely eradicated extreme poverty in the state. Okay, it has invited both praise as well as skepticism from economists and policy experts. Now why? Let's try and understand the global context first of all. Fine. If I see at the global level, extreme poverty rates have fallen sharply over the last 4 decades. Acha, before I begin, can anyone tell me what is the threshold of extreme international extreme poverty line as defined by World Bank. This year only World Bank has updated the extreme poverty line. What is the threshold? Ki below this much money, you will be considered as poor. So what is this threshold according to the World Bank? Can anyone in the comment section tell me? This year only we have seen in news, this year only this international extreme poverty line has been updated. Absolutely correct. So if you are earning less than $3, or you can say you're utilizing less than $3 per day. So $3 per day per person per day. If you're spending less than $3 per person per day, then you will be considered as extreme poor. Pehle, what was the scenario? That if you are spending less than $2.15 per person per day. This was before 2025. If you were spending less than $2.15 per day, you would be considered extreme poor. But now World Bank this year only has increased this threshold to $3 per day. Okay? So if we talk about the global extreme poverty rates, they have fallen sharply in the last 4 decades. Okay, so we have seen a reduction in global poverty. According to World Bank, the percentage of people who are living on less than $3 per day, they are considered as poor. So if you see in 1981, 47.1% of the people were poor. In 2024, 10.3% of the people are poor. So you can see the drastic reduction. You can see this drastic reduction in poverty. And in June 25, World Bank revised the criteria from earlier threshold of $2.15 per day to $3 per day. Okay, fine. So on Kerala Formation Day, November 1, the government had declared that no household now lacks basic necessities of life. That means we have eradicated extreme poverty. Under which project? Kerala had achieved this through this extreme poverty eradication project, which was launched in 2021. So Kerala had launched this extreme poverty eradication project in 2021, and because of the success of this project, extreme poverty has been declined in Kerala. Kerala has become the first Indian state to officially announce eradication of extreme poverty. Abhi it has only officially announced. Abhi the government is going to verify. There are going to be survey rounds and all, and everything is going to happen. Then we are going to verify, and then we are going to say whether. Then we are going to say whether this claim is correct or not. ठीक है पहले Kerala. How has Kerala become the first Indian state? It is based on this $2.15 per day. ठीक है, they have used this criteria. पुराना वाला criteria they have used. ठीक है. Now this project, EP project of Kerala, identified and supported around 64,006 families living in extreme poverty. ठीक है, around 64,000 families have been supported. What all did they provide? They provide access to food, health, housing, education. They provided livelihood support, land distribution for landless households. Niti Aayog's multi-dimensional poverty index MPI was also used to measure deprivation. So again I'm giving you a homework here. You are going to read about multi-dimensional poverty index. For those of you who are enrolled with me already at Oliveboard, we are going to discuss about this when we study poverty. Okay, so don't worry about that, but you have to read on your own about MPI. Now multi-dimensional poverty index is done at the national level by Niti Aayog, and the international level also we have this multi-dimensional poverty index. Okay, so you are going to read about both of these. Read about multi-dimensional poverty index. So Niti Aayog's MPI has also been used over here. 10,000 crore was spent on the program. So sorry, 1,000 crore were spent on the program, and later it has been upgraded to EP 2.2 so that we can prevent any case of extreme poverty further. Okay. Now if this has been verified, then Kerala's success would be would make it the first Indian state to eliminate extreme poverty, which is a major milestone for India, and it is going to be a major milestone for India's social development model. Plus it is going to also it is going to align with our sustainable development goal 1, which says that we have to eradicate poverty. There should be no poverty. It demonstrates the success of decentralized governance and targeted welfare schemes at the grassroots level. This is what is the significance of the achievement. ठीक है, obviously there are criticisms also. ठीक है, that data inconsistencies are there. How can you say extreme poverty has ended? And there's lack of independent verification as of now. ठीक है, what if poverty has been underestimated and it is not even based on any formal survey? So once it gets verified, only then we are going to say that yes, poverty has been eradicated in Kerala. ठीक है? If I talk about the global perspective, then extreme poverty remains regionally concentrated. Okay, it is regionally concentrated in the sense that only in a few regions poverty we can see. For example, sub-Saharan Africa, around 46%, approximately 46% of the people are poor in sub-Saharan Africa. South Asia में around 6%, Latin America and Caribbean around 4%, North America and Central Asia around approximately 1% each. ठीक है, इससे याद आया, you can there's this, again I'm giving you homework. Check what is the difference between Latin American countries and South American countries. ठीक है, what is the difference between Latin America and South America? ठीक है, check out this homework just for general knowledge. You should know these basic things also. ठीक है, so Kerala's model could provide valuable lessons in human development. ठीक है, and it underscores the importance of inclusive growth, multidimensional poverty assessment, sustained welfare efforts. Fine. Next is that Sitaraman calls for India-centric economic models. That if we have to focus on an economic model, let's not focus on Western economic models. We should have our own indigenous models. We should have our more India-centric economic models, which focus, on the topography of India, on the basic, the economic scenario of India. So, Nirmala Sitharaman, she urged economists and scholars to design economic models which are rooted in India's realities, not relying on Western frameworks. We should emphasize on data-driven, technology-oriented approach so that we can understand India's evolving economy and play a greater role in shaping policy. Because if we have economic models which are India-centric, we will be able to make better economic policies. Okay, Sitaraman described technology as the fifth factor of production. Right now, we understand the factors of production. What are the factors of production? We usually say factors of production are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. है ना? These are the factors of production, four factors of production. What do you mean by factors of production? Which help in the production of commodities. ठीक है, now Nirmala Sitharaman is saying that along with these four factors of production, we have technology as the fifth factor of production, which is very, very important. So we have to leverage technology, and those economies that embrace technology, they progress faster, and those who do not, they lag behind. India has progressed from being the 10th largest economy in 2014 to 4th today. We have surpassed Japan recently, है ना? And it is expected to soon become the third largest economy. So she emphasized that India stands strong due to its economic strength and resilience, and we need to have our own economic models. In institutions like Delhi School of Economics, they should bridge the gap between research and governance. We should use advanced data analytics, artificial intelligence, ठीक है? Artificial intelligence for early economic predictions, training with a multidisciplinary approach, combining economics, data science, environmental studies, public policy. ठीक है? Fine. Then data driven decision making. Economists, they are encouraged to read data, read between the data, talk for data. This was a statement made by Nirmala Sitharaman. Use objective and data based analysis to reflect true ground realities. ठीक है? Usually what we do is our economic models are usually Western centric. We should have India centric models that could address the need of the global south. ठीक है? Fine. So field immersion programs should be there for students. Vocational training should be there for students. We should engage with districts, small businesses, cooperatives, self-help groups. Create economists with empathy who understand both numbers and people's mind. So economists should have empathy also, who understand the people also, and who understand the numbers also. ठीक है? Fine. I hope these things are clear to all of you. Next is why India didn't grow as fast as other Asian countries. This is a viewpoint. Okay? This is the viewpoint. Aditya is asking, ma'am, what will be its factor payment for technology? It is going to come from profits only, na? Aditya Yadav, this is also going to come for profits. She has basically explained that now the new factor of production is also technology. Technology, if leveraged, it is going to help in increasing the profits. So out of the profits only, that is going to be the factor payment. Okay, Aditya. Now next is why India didn't grow as fast as other Asian countries. This is a viewpoint. So what we are saying is that India has missed the economic potential. Now in my classes, I always explain about this theory of structural transformation. What is this theory of structural transformation? That if a country wants to become a developed country, if a country is an underdeveloped country or a least developed country or a developing country, to become a developed country, it has to follow a certain path. What is that path? That first we have to improve our primary sector. We have to reach the potential, we have to exhaust the potential of the primary sector, which is the agriculture sector. Once we have properly improved our agriculture sector and we have reached the highest potential of a primary sector, then we should start focusing on the secondary sector, which is your industrial sector. Okay, start focusing on this. Once you have reached the potential of the industrial sector, move towards the services sector, then move towards the services sector. But in India, one problem that we have seen is that we have leapfrogged from the agriculture sector to the services sector, leaving behind the manufacturing sector. So we have had premature deindustrialization. That means we were not able to create a strong industrial base. Our industrial sector is lagging behind. And because our industrial sector is lagging behind, that is why India could not grow as fast as other Asian economies. We directly jumped from our agriculture sector to services sector. Industrial sector is still in its nascent stage. We have still not developed our industrial sector properly. That is what has been written in the article, that because we have not utilized our manufacturing sector properly, because of that we are lagging behind. So our economic development is inconsistent as compared to other Asian nations like China, South Korea, Vietnam. Despite early independence, democratic advantages, India lagged behind in industrial and export led growth. So our industrial sector and our export led growth, these are the two major problematic things in India. Okay, yes, Rahul. But primary sector, most of the people are engaged in the primary sector still. We are still lagging behind in the primary sector. But we have jumped towards the services sector immediately, leaving behind these primary and industrial sector, and especially the industrial sector. Right, Rahul? So there is this paradox that India progressed in services but lagged in manufacturing and exports. This is the paradox that theory of structural transformation says, that we need to develop one by one and we have left behind the industrial sector. We did not leverage our low skilled labor only for mass manufacturing exports. We have so much labor with us. Our labor potential, our population growth is so much in the country, but we have not utilized it. That is why there is unemployment in the economy. That is why there is jobless growth also in the economy. If you see, services sector ka potential is very good. Services sector contribution to GDP is very very high. But services sector requires only skilled professionals, highly skilled professionals. But most of the labor in India is semi skilled or unskilled labor. We have semi skilled or unskilled labor. Where will they go? They are unemployed. So we are growing, but we are having this problem of jobless growth. Okay, you can get a question related to jobless growth and unemployment in your exam. I will form a question and I will post it in the Telegram group again. Okay, I will post a question on the Telegram group so that you guys can write an answer and share your answer with me. Okay, fine. So uh, uh, we focused more on import substitution rather than export driven strategies, right? We tried to substitute our imports. We did not focus on export. It was later after 1991 that we focused on export also, but before that we were too much focused on import substitution. Okay. Then small scale industry reservation policy. Many industries were reserved for small firms, preventing large scale manufacturing. So what was happening? We had this MRTP Act of 1969. We are going to discuss in the paid batches, but somebody who's already done it, then you would know that MRTP Act, according to this MRTP Act of 1969, we used to restrict industries from enlarging. We used to restrict the industries from growing. है ना? Because of which we have more of small scale industries, and because their scale did not improve, so our industrial sector did not improve, which led to lower productivity, lack of economies of scale, rigid labor laws we have, unreliable power supply. These are the major reasons why we could not develop our industrial sector. And if we compare with the East Asian countries, then we have China, Vietnam, Bangladesh, South Korea. They promoted large scale manufacturing, exports, integration into global markets. They invested heavily in education, health, gender equity, encouraged foreign investment, flexible labor policies, and we did not do any of these. India focused on what? Protecting small domestic industries. Bureaucratic red tapeism, self defeating regulations, lower openness to global supply chains, because of which we are still lagging behind. Our export sector is underperforming. We are still, most of the time, we have current account deficit. Our imports are mostly greater than our exports. India's share in global exports is, about 4.5%, which is very low. Vietnam's 3 to 5 times growth. Bangladesh garment exports boom. Textile and apparel sector, which fueled other Asian economies. This underperformed heavily in India. Then infrastructure and administrative challenges are also there. Poor infrastructure, logistics, delayed electricity supply, policy uncertainties. Non-tariff barriers are a lot, because of which we could not increase our potential. There's a case study. Foxconn's factory in China employed hundreds of thousands of workers, which shows that industrial scale in India could not match with this. Even when global firms sought alternatives to China, India couldn't fully capitalize on that. Okay, that is why we are lagging behind. So, what is the way forward? That India's failure to adopt export led industrialization and prioritize mass employment manufacturing limits its growth. Okay, what are the reform suggestions? These suggestions are important. If you get a question, you can write down these suggestions. Liberalize labor laws, remove small scale industry reservations, improve logistics, power supply, reduce bureaucratic friction, embrace global trade and manufacturing opportunities. These are some potential solutions which you can mention in your answer later on. Okay? So these were your major articles. Now we have a few fact based news only which we are going to quickly cover. We don't have to understand in detail about these. We just have to know that this news is there. Okay? Acha, recently Nvidia, it became, you know, it achieved a milestone. It became the first company to achieve a milestone. What is it? This was a news in the previous live mint analysis I had taken up. What has Nvidia achieved? Write down in the comment section and tell me. Here we have this news that Nvidia joins India Deep Tech Alliance with $850 million pledge. That means Nvidia has joined hands with Indian and US investors to support India's deep tech startups. Yes. ठीक है 5 trillion company. It has become a 5 trillion company. The first for at such a large scale. Not 3 trillion, 5 trillion. M&M Abhinav, not 3, not 4, 5 trillion. ठीक है? So this was the news a few days back. ठीक है? Read about this also. Now, Nvidia has joined hands with Indian and US investors to support India's deep tech startups. Alliance has secured over $850 million in new capital commitments. So, which are the ventures? Qualcomm, Activate AI, Info Edge Ventures, Shirate Ventures, Kalari Capital. These are the few investors. Okay. Now, why is this important? Because this is really going to boost our startup ecosystem. Okay, giving you homework here. Read about the Startup India initiative. Very important. Okay. Startup India Initiative. Read about this. This is your homework. Okay, so if I talk about India Deep Tech Alliance, then it is essentially an industry-led consortium of investors, corporates, technology partners, ecosystem stakeholders from both India and US, and together they are going to focus on India's deep tech startup. Okay, it was launched in September with an initial $1 billion commitment. Launched at Semicon India event. Where was this launched? At Semicon India event, okay, in New Delhi. And focus is on space technology, semiconductors, AI, robotics. Okay, what is NVIDIA's role? It is going to join as a founding member and strategic advisor. It will provide support to the startups, policy guidance, training, AI, and computing tools, so that innovation can be accelerated, technical development can happen in India. That is why NVIDIA's role is very important here. ठीक है. Deep tech startups funding in India surged 78% to $1.6 billion last year. Only one fifth of the total startup funding. This is only one fifth of the total startup funding, $7.4 billion. So startups usually struggle with capital shortages. They don't have enough money, long development timelines, unpredictable paths of profit to profitability, and that is why with this government push, policy push, Nvidia's entering into this and helping out. This is going to really help out in improving the startup ecosystem in the country. Okay, Indian government recently launched a $12 billion initiative to boost innovation and semiconductor manufacturing. Right? And a call from ministers earlier urged startups to prioritize core technologies like semiconductors and AI. Okay? Deep tech investment is very important for what? For economic independence, for building core technologies, reducing reliance on foreign technology, building long term strategic capabilities. So, they are strategically very, very important. Next is that public capital expenditure focus shifts to real outcomes from scale. That means government is shifting focus from increasing the size of public capital expenditure to ensuring better quality, efficiency, and measurable outcomes. That means, Peli, what used to happen? We are going to increase our public expenditure. पैसा पैसा we are going to increase, बढ़ा देंगे पैसा, capital we are going to increase. But now government's focus is shifting towards quality of that money, efficiency of that money. पहले a lot of money used to get wasted. And the पहले focus was that we are going to increase our public expenditure. But now, rather than increasing public expenditure, how efficiently we can utilize that public expenditure, that is important. ठीक है. Okay. Then use of AI driven tools and data analytics to monitor project progress, cost overruns, enhance transparency. Priorities on project execution, transparency, tangible economic benefits. We should improve the execution of projects, ensure transparency, focus on tangible economic benefits rather than just high budget allocations. So focus on real outcomes. The money that we are, giving to them, is it being utilized properly or not? ठीक है. AI based tools for project appraisal and monitoring should be used. Data analytics to track performance and minimizing delays is important. We need to establish an indigenous government owned AI server that is being examined to address privacy and improve database decision making. If you see the budget and capex numbers, 11.21 trillion rupees. This is India's capex target for financial year 26. Remember such kind of data. This is very important. Directly in MCQ you can be asked. Okay. Effective capital expenditure financial year 25 estimated at 13.18 trillion. Center's capex stood at 5.8 trillion or 51.8% of estimate for financial year 26. ठीक है. Ministries they now require they should provide detailed project reports. According to this, they are the ministries, they have to provide detailed project reports, outcome based evaluations, employment and productivity metrics. Projects undergo greater due diligence, closer scrutiny. And government encourages private sector participation, including public private partnership models. High quality implementation and timely utilization of funds should be there. However, there are a few challenges and reforms are required. What are the issues? Capital intensive infrastructure projects, long gestation periods. Gestation periods, it takes long time to start receiving the profit. Vast geographical reach. These are the issues. So, what are the reforms that they have mentioned? See, whenever reforms, suggestions, and all are mentioned in any kind of article, that becomes very important. That is going to help you in your answer writing. ठीक है. So what are the reforms? Emphasis on ground education. ठीक है. Then ensuring capex leads to economic multipliers, jobs, asset creation, targeted sectoral investments like infrastructure, logistics, railways, highways, manufacturing. Okay? So AI's role should be also used in predictive analysis, real-time monitoring, accuracy in forecasting, and resource allocation. Right? The last article for today, RBI's rupee defense saps liquidity. See, rupee has been depreciating a lot. That means value of rupee has been declining as compared to the dollar. In that case, RBI intervenes to stabilize this exchange rate to reduce rupee from depreciating, and that is what RBI has done. Now, when when our rupee is depreciating, that means say $1 was 50 rupees before. What is the meaning of depreciation? Depreciation of Indian currency. Pehle $1 was 50 rupees. Now $1 is rupees 60. That means now the Americans, they could buy from $1, they could buy rupees 50 worth of goods, but now with $1 they can buy 60 worth of goods. That means the value of Indian rupee is declining. है ना? Value of Indian rupee is declining a lot. है ना? That means now we have to give them more products. We have to give them more goods. And we are going to get less dollars. We will get less dollars and more of our products will go outside. More of our exports will increase but less dollars. So RBI, what does it do? RBI intervenes in the market and sells dollars. ठीक है? How will it do? Through foreign exchange swaps. What does swaps mean? कि अभी RBI is going to say कि for 6 months banks, what you do is you give me rupees, I will give you dollars. So what does RBI say? Banks, what you do is you give me the rupees and in exchange take dollars, because I want to inject dollars in the market so that I can control the depreciation of rupee. Now, because of this, if RBI is going to take rupees from the banks, that means liquidity will reduce in the banking system. Foreign exchange is present, US dollars are present, but rupee is not present. That means liquidity in the banking system has reduced. That is, money supply in the economy will reduce. Money supply in the economy will reduce. Cash in hand with people will reduce. Cash in hand with people will reduce. Our demand will reduce. Demand for products will reduce. Then economic growth will hamper. So there is liquidity shortage in the system because of RBI intervening to control depreciating rupee. Okay, so what is the news? That RBI is aggressively selling US dollars to defend the rupee against depreciation. Defend the rupee in the sense reducing depreciation. Defending rupee means reducing depreciation. Okay, this forex intervention is draining liquidity because rupees are going out of the banking system and going to the RBI. Because of these interventions, liquidity in the banking system has dropped significantly. It has drained 1.5 to 2 trillion rupees from the banking system. And liquidity surplus has fallen. It has become at the lowest level. Okay? Fine. So to counter this, to increase liquidity, economists and traders, they expect RBI is going to purchase 1 to 1.5 trillion worth of government bonds. Ab ek taraf RBI, what is it doing? It is trying to inject US dollars and sell US dollars in the market and inject liquidity. But when liquidity in the banking system reduces, then RBI has to take some measures to inject liquidity again in other manner. So what is RBI going to do? It is going to purchase bonds. What is bonds? Bond is like an instrument. It is written over here that it is a government bond which is backed by the government. So what is government going to do? Government is going to purchase bonds from the people. Ki you give me bonds, I will give you rupees. So through this, what is going to happen? Rupee is going to be injected in the economy. Okay? Now these bonds are basically government securities for a long period of time, which is done through open market operations. Those who are new over here, we are going to cover monetary policy and then we are going to understand this concept. If you are not able to understand right now, don't worry. Just try and understand the basic of it, what I'm trying to explain. Okay? So bonds ke through we are going to inject liquidity in the economy. Okay, now why liquidity matters? Why are we focusing on liquidity? Liquidity is very important to keep interest rates low. Only if these interest rates will be low will people be able to take more loans from the banks. If banks will keep interest rate low, then they will be able to take more loans from we will be able to take more loans from the banking system. If we take more loans, cash in hand will increase, we will have more money. That means money supply in the economy will increase. That means we will be able to demand more, है ना? And our aggregate demand will increase and economic growth will increase. We know aggregate demand is C plus I plus G plus X minus M. If our demand increases, that means consumption spending will increase, investment spending will increase, aggregate demand will increase. And if there is going to be less liquidity in the economy, then interest rates will be higher, and this will be ulta pura process, which is going to hamper economic growth. And already we are facing so many challenges related to US tariffs, slower capital inflows also. So, what is the way forward? That RBI has to balance currency stability and liquidity needs. There is a trade off between the two, and we have to balance it. RBI is set to meet banks and market dealers this week. RBI is going to meet the banks and the dealers to see that what can be done. And central bank is expected to monitor liquidity more closely. ठीक है? Fine. Okay, will this lead to some kind of trap? It can, but of course, see what happens is that we have twin objectives. RBI has twin objectives. You have to maintain liquidity, but stabilizing the exchange rate is also important. I can't say that there's going to be a trap. If this continues, then there can be a trap, but otherwise, no. Okay, this is a general policy decision. Fine. Then we have GST rate cuts to lift credit growth according to SBI. This is also not very important. This is just basically you just have to ऊपर से understand that SBI has raised the credit growth outlook. It has revised the forecast credit growth in the sense giving more loans. Credit growth is how many loans are being given. ठीक है? So financial year 26 credit growth raised to 12 to 14%. पहले it was 11 to 12% growth of credit, growth of loans. ठीक है? So SBI is projecting optimism in the economy कि our loans are going to increase. ठीक है, what are the macroeconomic drivers? Tax reforms, GST rate cuts लेकर आए हैं. We have brought in GST rate cuts, है ना? And because of this, it is going to spur consumption. Consumption will increase. Consumption demand will increase. We are going to take up more loans, है ना? Then interest rate cuts. RBI has also reduced repo rate by 100 basis points. That means rate of interest has reduced, which is going to allow people to take up more loans from the banks. If we take more loans, then the entire process, like I explained you, more loans, we'll be able to, use that money, more cash in hand. We'll use that money for consumption and investment spending. Aggregate demand will increase. ठीक है? This is the financial performance of SBI. Not very important. Just to show you what were the net interest income, net profit, gross NP and all. So overall we can see that SBI's overall scenario has only improved. You don't need to learn obviously in detail all this. Okay, this is just an overview. Okay, what were the growth drivers identified by SBI chairman? Consumption demand has sustained. So our consumption demand is good, because of which our credit growth is good. Corporate credit revival. Corporate loan book grew 7.1%. That means corporates are also taking more and more loans. So credit growth is good. Plus asset quality is good. Decline in gross NPAs. So bad debts have reduced. What are bad debts? When people default on loans, when they do not provide the money back. That are known, those are known as bad debts. So bad debts have reduced, and asset quality has improved. ठीक है? RBI has also allowed mergers and all, because of which the banking system has improved. Norms have been improved. SBI's total business crossed 100 trillion rupees. Shares of SBI closed 0.52% higher. Credit growth for financial year 26 assumes no rate cut in December, but there might be in March. There might be a rate cut in March. Okay, so this was the news about nothing, much in detail. Okay, so I will be posting questions on my Telegram handle. ठीक है? Mannat Educator is my Telegram handle. I will be posting questions there. If you want, you can check out. Right? You can connect with me over here. Fine. Now let's do a few MCQs. Acha, Aditya is asking a question. Ma'am, if small industries reservation will be removed, then how new company will survive in the market? That is why we are focusing more and more on MSMEs. But pehle what used to happen was there was a lot of restriction that MSMEs were not allowed to grow. Small industries, they were not allowed to grow only. There were limits. Ki if your net your turnover increases beyond 100 crore, you will have to take permission. There will be regulatory compliances. There will be restrictions. You will be monitored. You can't expand more than this. ऐसे करके there were limits. These limits have been reduced. Ki if MSMEs को we will support the MSMEs, but we will not stop them from growing. We will not stop them from becoming a large enterprise. Okay, Aditya? I hope your doubt is clear now. Let's do these MCQs. First question. Fine. Okay, Rahul. Chalo. Based on SBI September quarterly results, which of the following statements is correct regarding its financial metrics? SBI's net profit fell by 10% due to the sale of its Yes Bank stake. Gross NPA ratio rose from 1.73% to 2.13% in financial year 26, showing deterioration in asset quality. SBI's total business loans plus deposits crossed 100 trillion for the first time. Net interest margin improved to 3.27% in financial year 26. SBI's corporate loan book declined 7.1% in September quarter due to lower demand. What do you think is the answer? Abhi, what did we see? That SBI has improved in every aspect. Improvement in every aspect. You can eliminate those options which are showing a negative aspect. For example, SBI's net profit fell by 10%. Cross. Gross NPS ratios rose. No, they reduced. ठीक है? Then SBI's corporate loan book declined 7.1%. This is also not declined. है ना? Net interest margin improved to 3.27% in financial year 26. एक तो ये है option. And SBI's total business loans plus deposits crossed 100 trillion for the first time. So out of these you had to decide. So C is the correct answer. SBI's total loans and deposits crossed 100 trillion. ठीक है? For the first time. So C is the correct answer. ठीक है? Second question. Oh, need to do this. Let's move on to this question. Okay, those kind of questions are very rare that can be asked, है ना? Let's move on to the third question only. In the context of Indian Railways operating ratio is projected to fall below 98% in financial year 27. What does a lower operating ratio primarily indicate? I hope you've understood this. I tried to explain it in a very detailed manner. First, a decline in total working expenses relative to revenue. An increase in pension liabilities of the organization, a rise in fuel and maintenance costs, higher borrowing by railways to fund capex projects, decline in freight and passenger revenues. Third question. What is the answer? This should be easy. Absolutely correct. A decline in total working expenses relative to revenue. Very good. Fourth question. What is the projected effective capital expenditure for financial year 26, including central spending, loans, and grants? Effective capital expenditure for financial year 26. 11.21 trillion, 12.80 trillion, 13.18 trillion, 15.48 trillion, 18.50 trillion. See, such numbers are not very easy to remember, है ना? But you have to remember. Rachna has given me D as the answer. Anybody else? Abhinav says A. Bhakti 15.48 D. Aditya A. The correct answer is 15.48 trillion, which is D. Absolutely correct. All those who have given me D as the answer. Fifth question. In the context of Indian economy, open market operations refer to borrowing by scheduled banks from the RBI, lending by commercial banks to industry and trade, purchase and sale of government securities by RBI, regulating functions of NBFCs, none of the above. Open market operations. This is one of the tool of monetary policy. Those who have not done this, it's okay. We are going to cover it in the classes. ठीक है? Open market operations में I talked about bonds, I talked about securities, है ना? So answer is C, purchase and sale of government securities by RBI. ठीक है. Next question number 6. Very good, all of you. Consider the following statements with reference to specialty steel PLI scheme round 3. First, only Indian registered companies engaged in end-to-end manufacturing of notified products can apply. Covers 20 subcategories under 5 broad segments. Disbursal of incentives begins from financial year 26-27. 4 to 15% range of incentives offered on incremental sales. So this is what I was saying, as statement based questions can be asked. So which of the above are correct? 1, 2 and 3 only, 2, 3 and 4 only, all of the above, 1, 2 and 4 only, or 1, 3 and 4 only? Sixth question, what is your answer? C, 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 B. The correct answer is E, 1, 3 and 4 only. 1, 3 and 4 only are correct. No, this is second is also correct. Covers 20 subcategories under 5 broad segments. And this is also correct. Disbursal of incentives, this is also correct. 4 to 15% correct. Only Indian registered. All are correct. So your answer is not E over here. E is wrong. Your answer is C, all of the above. All are correct. Okay, here the answer is mentioned wrong. It was 20. अच्छा 22 subcategories. अच्छा ठीक है. Okay. Yes, even I forgot. है ना 22 subcategories. हाँ, very good. Aditya, Rachna, 22 subcategories. Very good. So your answer is E only 1, 3 and 4. Very good, all of you. Very good, all those who remember 22 subcategories. ठीक है? हाँ, very good. Shashwat, Aditya, Rachna, E. Kevlin has also given me E as the answer. Abhinav has also given me E as the answer. ठीक है, तो E is the correct answer. Such kind of mistakes can happen in exam. ठीक है, 20 का 22 याद नहीं रहा है ना. ठीक है, so 22 subcategories. Very good. Consider the following industries: robotics, semiconductors, artificial intelligence, semiconductors again. So 3 and 2 and 4 options are the same only. Which of the following industries are covered under India Deep Tech Alliance? 1 and 4 only, 2 and 3 only, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, all of the above. Second and fourth option to are same only, है ना? Just tell me randomly what is the answer. What can be the answer? What is, what all are, out of these are covered under your Deep Tech Alliance? D, 2, 3 and 4. Anybody else? Abhinav is saying D. What about others? Rachna is saying E, all of the above. Acha. Bhakti is saying all. The correct answer is all of the above. ठीक है, तो semiconductors 2 या 4 में से you could have, you know, taken up both of these as same. ठीक है, so robotics also, AI also, semiconductors also. ठीक है. Which state has become the first state in India to eradicate extreme poverty? Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Maharashtra, Rajasthan. Very easy question. This to everybody. All of you should give me the answer. हाँ जी. Absolutely correct. Kerala. है ना? In June 2025, the World Bank revised the poverty determination criteria from earlier threshold of $2.15 per day to $2 per day, $2.50 per day, $2.75 per day, $3 per day, or $3.75 per day. What is the answer? Quickly, very easy question again. $3 per day is absolutely correct. Which of the following is incorrect regarding the India Deep Tech Alliance? Launched in September with an initial $1 billion commitment, a new coalition of Indian and UK venture firms, corporates, and strategic partners. Founding investors include Celesta Capital, Axel, Bloom Ventures. NVIDIA joined as a founding member and strategic advisor. It was launched in New Delhi. What is the answer? Incorrect. You have to identify the incorrect statement. What is the answer? Aditya is saying B. Anybody else? A. Bhakti saying A. Kevlin is also saying A. The answer is B. Okay, B is the incorrect statement. So it is not with UK Ventures, it is with US Ventures. And our first is correct, launched in September. Initially, it was 1 billion commitment. Founding investors are Celesta Capital, all of these. Then Nvidia joined as founding member. It was launched in New Delhi. Okay, it is USA and not UK. Okay, fine. So that is all from my side, everyone. I hope these things are clear to you. I hope today's session was clear. This is my Telegram handle to connect with me over here. Okay, you can connect here. I will be posting a question here. Okay, so that is all from my side. I hope that it was clear to all of you. I hope today's session was fruitful to all of you. Okay, this is how we are going to cover the live mint analysis for all those who joined new. I hope that you have understood. Okay, once you complete the ESI section with me, these things will be more and more clear to all of you. Okay, Bhakti, thank you so much. And I will see you all in my next one. Till then, keep studying, and I wish you all the best. Bye bye, everyone, and have a good day. Take care.